All right, so this is gonna be the last one I'm gonna be talking about. It doesn't say here, but they did include, I think it's 93 to 97 del Sol, so they should be the same as well. It's included um, in here as well, even though it does not say it in here. But this is the ones that I'm mainly familiar with because I do own two of those chassis. So let's continue. Pretty much what it brings. Instruction installation notes for you guys to read. Same thing as you guys saw on the other one. So it does look that high racing has colors on there, which is nice. That way you can't like you're not gonna get confused. So, but it does show that here. I mean, I'm pretty sure on the other one it has it, even though I didn't show it. But you know, we do have here the data link connector. On my EG is a 92, so I didn't have none of that because I think they started introducing that back in 96. So I mean, you can just plug your ECU for the most part. But if you're in a hurry and you want, you have scan tool, or if you don't have your computer and you're having to be rolling and you stop like at any parts store, maybe they can connect it and give you the kind of like a rundown of what fault you're having. So it's kind of like, I guess, quick, nice to have, but a lot of these conversion harnesses nowadays do not bring these. These are pretty much optional. I know I have a Spark Racing, which is not high racing on my EG, and it brought it, but then the later models versions did not have it. And I actually messaged him. He said, hey, it's not something that we put anymore. You can actually you can hook up the ECU, but if you really want it that bad, you can buy it from them, and then you can just pin it yourself. Um, so you guys can see here, we got the C101 connector, and the majority of the stuff is connected there because you guys will see it's way different than the EK. Primary tool sensor relay as well, and then let's continue. I see this is where the engine harness is located in the firewall for the EK. I mean, for the DC and the EG. I'm not sure about the Del Sol, but it seems like it is because they look identical. The battery is located right there, so it's kind of tight. You have to remove the battery tray and the battery for the most part. It's a grommet in there. You guys can see holding it, so it kind of sucks when you have to pull it out. See, right there. And then on the other side of the, where is this side? Okay, so yeah, you're going to have all these connectors as well. On the passenger side, you're going to disconnect them all. What I did was on the EG, I actually tucked it underneath where the battery tray is at so I can get them out of the way because, you're going to have all those old wires that you're not going to be using for the most part in there. But on the Integra, I actually went a little bit more fancy and I actually went pin for pin, wire for wire, and I removed all the excess wires that I'm not using. It wasn't a smart move because when it came down to pinning stuff, I was kind of confused, but I figured it out. So I did it right. I removed all the wiring, unnecessary wiring. So I took everything out that was not needed. So the car, for the most part, is completely K-swap converted for the wires. The only wires you see in there are the wires that I am using. Everything else, I took it off, and I have a collection of wires everywhere. But I recommend don't do that unless you know what you're doing. But easiest way is, like it says here, look at disconnect the wiring on the passenger side, shock tower. These wires are for the old stock engine harness and will not be used. Go ahead and push them down to the firewall so they are on. They are now under your dash. So these are just pretty much a souvenir from what you already have, what you had before. So just if you're not familiar, just go ahead, bundle them up, tuck them, and just tuck them away. You're not going to use these anymore. All right, right there, you guys can see they're introducing the new engine harness or feeding it through. Let's see, which by the way, this is going to suck. It's not a pleasant interaction or step in the process. It sucks when you're feeding them through there. It's really very painstakingly annoying. If you have somebody else working with you, have somebody in there, pull them while you're feeding them because they get stuck and then they get inside and the sound deadening is super annoying. And then the same thing, we got here the ECU is going to follow the same connection. The engine harness is going to have that C connector, and then you have A and B, and it's going to be the same interaction plugging as you guys can see in here. Same thing. Now this is where it gets a little bit different. And I'm going to read this for you guys. So it says here, there are 3 wires that run out of the white E plug, which is on your conversion harness connector. Go ahead and cut the zip ties and straighten the wires out. If you have a 92 to 95 Civic or a 94 Integra, move to page 8. If you have a 96 to 99 Integra, move to page 9. Obviously, 96 to 99, you're already entering into OBD right there. The 92, 95, it says if you have 94, go to page 8. Those are probably still going to be OBD1. And then, so according to what you have, we're going to go to all the pages. You're going to move on to, and then it says go to page 9 if you have in 2001 Integra, which is what I have in the back. And that's what I had to do to get the proper connections. We'll follow the proper guide. That's going to be definitely OBD. That's the newest OBD that I guess I bought. But let's go ahead. You guys can see here, we got the OBD1 9295 Civic and then the 94 Integra. Not sure if 95 should be here, but it says 94. Let's go back in here real quick and check something out. So I'm pretty sure if you have a 95 Integra, that you will still fall under this page 8 category. So I'm pretty sure you still fall under here. So obviously, this right here, see it says K-Series ECU connector E. This is going to be on your conversion harness. It's going to be a total of 3 wires. You got the mill, ELD, and fuel pump. Obviously, on the 99 to 2000 EK, they all went, all six of them went to connector A. Super easy, or you're focusing on one connector. Here, you're gonna have to pretty much go to a different connector. So it's like not all of them get spliced to one connector. So here, as we go along, move down, we have connector E1, which is going to be up here. As you guys see, that's going to be a green and yellow wire. That's going to be your fuel pump. So this is going to go to either A7 or A8, according to what chassis, obviously, of the EG or the Integra. But obviously, when you're looking at them on that connector A, look for a green and yellow wire. If on your EG it's not on A7, go to A8. And if it's vice versa with the Integra. You guys can see here, it's right here. You guys can see it right there. See how it has 7 and 8 and they're both green and yellow. So that's going to be for your fuel pump. So make sure that you go by the color if it's not on the pin that's supposed to. But remember, if it's not on 7, it's on 8. If it's not on 8, it's on 7. All right, super easy. All right, you're tracking so far. All right. All right, so now you're going to go to connector E15, which is going to be a green and red. And you guys can see right, well, that kind of looks more like orange to me. Well, not really, but oh no, it's different. Yeah, looks like orange to me. I don't know why they say red, or no, that's the right one. All right, so never mind. All right, so let's locate connector E15. So it's gonna be right here. That's correct. Green and red. That's gonna be on your E plug. And then it's gonna go, and this is going to be for the ELD, and then you're gonna locate connector D, which if you guys are not sure, just count the pins. So you have 22, and then that's where you're gonna put that one. So let me see if I can put them for you. So let's go right there. Oops, sorry. So these ones right here, let's be F for fuel. And then this one right here is gonna be ELD. Then the last one is gonna be connector E31, which is going to be green and orange. That's the one I was looking at. Green and orange. You're going to go back to connector A. Green and orange. It's going to be, you're going to take A, you're going to tap it into A13, which is going to be your check engine light. So this one right here is check engine light right here. Super easy so far. It's just a little confusing because they're talking about 2 chassis right here. So, and there you go. Obviously, make sure you solder, but it just, the kit probably brings everything. So, but if you want to solder, it just makes a more permanent connection than actually splicing. I don't remember what I did with the Integra, but I mean, everything's working. But soldering is the best one to do. All right, let's move on. Right here, showing an example, see, of what they want. Now we're gonna go to the 96 and 99 Integra OBD2. So they didn't talk about the 95, but my guess is the 95 will probably fall under the OBD1. That's my guess. So let's continue. It's gonna be about the same sequence. I noticed that this one it's a little bit different than the 99 2001 Integra, but it's just by a little bit. I mean, I guess the pins and stuff are a little bit different, but same thing. 3 wires you guys can see in here. This time, because the other one, remember, it had 30. Oh, 31, sorry. I don't know what I was looking at. But same thing. All right, so E1, go to A15. I mean, A16. As you can see right there, that's going to be for your fuel pump. And then E15 on the E plug is going to go to D16. So you're going to locate D connector. Boom. And the last one's going to be a check engine light E31. It's going to be a green and orange wire, and that's going to go to alpha 18 right there. Same thing. Same thing. I always leave the labels on just for future reference so I know what I'm looking at. And then this is the one that I have currently on my Integra in the back. I kind of got confused because like mine's automatic and it has like some extra plugs, but I think that extra plug's pretty much for the automatic transmission. So, but same thing in here. E plug, that doesn't change. So K-Pro immobilizers the lead box connector E1, green and yellow. And also your fuel pump. It's gonna go to A15. Boom, right there, A15. Then you got connector E15, green, red. That's gonna be your EOD. That goes to 830, right there. And then the last one's gonna be E31. It's gonna be check engine light, and that's going to 818. Just follow the color codes on the wire, and you're gonna be fine. They're all the same color code, so that way you do not get like you don't mess up or anything like that. So charging light, same thing. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be already attached, most likely to the E plug, and all you're gonna do is just splice it on to connector B810, which what was it? White and blue. Same sequence does not change across the board. Here it talks about pretty much what to do again, which is we've located. Now, this one's where it changed to the other chassis. So on the other chassis, as you guys saw, I believe it was like C1 something. Don't recall the actual connector, but it went on the driver's side firewall. That's the one that on the EK you have to bring inside, optional, but you kind of bring it inside and then you connect it underneath the driver's side, kind of like the pedal dash area. On here for the Integra and EG so we have this connector right here, which you guys can see right here. And you're pretty much just kind of like, you guys can see in there, they're just kind of like tucking it to the bottom. That's where like kind of like the AC ducts is at, or your SRS like computer module is at. Like, in there, all the, you're gonna have to fish it all the way inside. And that's how the connector looks, which is the connector says it right here. Was it connector C101, I believe it was? There you go, blue. And then here it says a little bit thing. So route the C101 blue connector on the higher racing harness to the driver's side of your chassis. You can use this supply zip ties to secure it nicely under the dash. Note, 2001 Integra, remove pin 7 blue wire from connector. Connect it to pin 14. Blue wire on pin 14 has 3 wires that run into the harness that you can pull out to control your tack. So this is the issue that I was actually having, because I was actually running a non-heavy racing conversion harness because I already owned it, so I didn't want to spend money. And it was, I didn't want to name the company, but it came defective. But I figured it out later by looking at schematics after I learned and stuff like that. I was able to fix it. It was pretty much two wires were flipped for the O2 sensor. I believe either getting signal or power. And once I swapped it, it was working. I had the issue where it wasn't working on the tachometer, and I didn't know what to do. So this was the issue right here. So once you move that pin to pin 14, then you will have actual signal on the dash. So voila, it was right here the whole time. But I figured it out by just looking at other schematics. But here it says it right here, and this pretty much for the 2000 Integra. So easy, wow, it's right here. So remember, you have the 2001 Integra. Remove pin 7 of the blue wire. Just remove it from the back. Pause, and then you're gonna pin it to 14. See, remove pin 7 wire and connect it to pin 14. It has a 3 of wire that runs into the harness that you can pull out. This control the tack. So there you go. Now you can control tack. And then this is what you're going to find in the bottom, where you're going to have to disconnect the one that's going to the firewall, not the one already inside. See, it says lay on your back, as you guys will see, and look up into the corner of 2 connectors, one brown and one gray. Do not touch the brown one. They are going to be aside of the plastic holder, which that plastic holder is tucked in there. If you have obviously, if you're going from manual, you're gonna have if you're manual, you're gonna have the pedal in your face. If you're not, you're going, then this will be perfect, because all that would just be pretty much out the way. And this says disconnect from the plastic holder, unplug the gray one and secure it, and move it on to the next step. All right, so move it on to the next step. You guys can see here. Boom. See, so remember when you disconnect them, the gray C101 that's actually in the car and underneath, leave that one. The one that's coming from the outside that's connected, that connects to the firewall, to that connector that's pretty much on the shock tower or driver's side, leave that one. Leave it disconnect pretty much, and then you're gonna pretty much connect it. I actually still have mine on the plastic thing. If you want to remove the plastic thing, it's up to you, but I still have my little plastic holder in there as well. And then on that connector C101, you're going to have a couple wires running out of it. You guys can see here, route the 3 loose wires through the grommet. So those are going to come back outside the firewall. And this is what I love about hybrid racing. So the firewall, once the wires in the engine bay, all the instructions. All right, and this is side. So you're going to have the fan switch, completely optional, like I was telling you guys. If you have K-Pro, you can just have it on K-Pro. Talks about it right there. This one you're going to need if you wanted to work on your gauge, yellow and green. And this is the one that a lot of people on other engine harnesses do not have. This is optional, but it's a nice little feature to have. I made a video about it. I'm going to put the link down in the corner, somewhere in the corner, so if you guys are interested. If you guys have a non one, or if you just don't know what to do and want, I guess, video clarification, just press it up there. I'll leave it for you guys. So you're going to look at the green and red wire, label brake fluid, and connect it to the green red coming out of the brake reservoir. So this essentially will allow you, if the reservoir ever went low enough where it triggered the sensor for it telling you that it's low on your dash, you're going to get a brake symbol indicator to turn on. That's the same indicator turns on when you put the e-brake on. I'll pull it up. If you have obviously a Canadian model, shout out to my Canadian folks, or probably an overseas model, you're going to have that indicator. I'm going to see if I can put it up here. It's going to look like this, other than what we have here in the States. And it's nice to have this will have that functioning working for you. Then obviously O2 sensors, I'm about the O2 sensor, secondary O2 sensor, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so that's going to conclude pretty much the wiring on both of them. Oh, well, on the 3 chassis I just mentioned, in 95, EG, 93 to 97, Del Sol, obviously is included on this one. And then the 94 to 2001 Integra. Obviously, it's different when it goes from the 94. That's OBD1. I'm guessing 95 is out as well because they didn't throw it in there. And then 96 and 98 is going to be OBD-A, I believe, alpha. And then 99 to 2001 is going to be OBD-B. That was a mouthful. Let me see. That was a mouthful. Say B right there. So yeah, so that's going to conclude the video, you guys. I'm sorry if I was everywhere. I try to be as much as explanatory, if that's a actual word of doing this. If somebody has any questions, concern, just leave them down below. I did my best to explain a little bit regarding this. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, please. That helps me a lot. Helps me a lot. I get a lot of people just watch my videos and don't really leave any love. So just make sure you like. Helps me a lot. And if you guys have any information, chime it down below to help others out as well. See you guys. Thank you guys.